Long time we haven't seen each other, Scott. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Jan. Good to see
Me
you.
Tuhin.
Jan.
Guys, me Tuhin.
Hi, Dr. Scott. Hi, Larry.
Awesome.
Waiting room. Grant. Grant Tate.
Grant Tate.
I'll let him in.
Okay. Hi,
Hi,
Grant.
Grant.
Hey, Grant.
Can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, there you go.
I'm a real person, not that picture.
We're all real here.
Right. Yeah.
But pretty soon we really are not going to know who's real or not.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
So
That's true.
we're probably not going to get a lot more people in. This
Hmm.
was not our normal way of doing a round table, but nonetheless, we're doing it. Oh, we got some other people coming in with note takers.
Yep. Patricia, Tommy.
I see all these note takers. I see no people. Seriously, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 note takers and no people.
Nine note takers, Jason.
There's people.
Seriously, 9 note takers and no people yet.
I wonder if the notes, I wonder if all the notes are going to be the same or not. Yeah.
I remember back in the old days, let's call it the 1970s, when voicemail was a way of never having to say hello. People would never answer their phones.
Yeah.
They just let it ring and go to voicemail, and then they could pick and choose.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. If 9 note takers are coming in, don't 9 people should be following them? Oh, there's one. Oh, Dr. Mark is here. He is. All old people here today.
The note takers maybe eventually is my experience
It's
with what other
interesting.
people do.
Hmm.
They just automatically program all these meetings that they might be interested
Hey,
in.
Mark, how are you? So we
Hey,
have
Mark.
9 note takers and no people.
Well, my principle is never write notes that I know I'll never read. So I don't use a note taker unless it's something that I'm really
Yeah, I'm just not going to let him in.
hit. Yeah.
So let's start. Okay, we have enough to start. Casey, it's all you.
All right. Thank you everyone for attending. So we're not a lot, but it's good. Okay. Let me just share my screen.
So in the chat, there is a link to a lovable, not a presentation, but we're trying it instead of Mentimeter. So if
Yeah,
you'd
we're
like
gonna
to do
try
that and
Lovable
look at
instead of
the chat,
Mentimeter. Here you
you'll
go.
see a link.
Can you share my screen? Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So basically our discussion today centers around one big question. So what would you ask an AI founder if you had a chance? And honestly, this is meant to be a informal webinar or session. We really want this to feel like an open conversation where people can exchange thoughts. And originally we planned to use Mentimeter, but since we have a smaller and more intimate group today, we decided to make this even more interactive through Zoom chat instead. So hold on, guys. Let me go to the next slide. So where are you all joining from?
We don't even have to do this now.
Yeah.
I can tell where everybody. Grant, Mark's in California. Grant, where are you?
I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay, Larry.
Colorado Springs.
And Scott is in Paraguay. No,
Cuenca, Ecuador.
Ecuador. I keep getting.
Best city in South
He's in the
America.
Philippines. I'm in New York, and Tuhin is where?
I'm in India, Mumbai.
He's in India. He's in Mumbai.
Mumbai, been there. Love it.
Mumbai.
Interesting place.
So we got a bunch
Yep.
of different continents here, and that's
Yeah.
interesting. So let's. So now that we know where we're all joining from, let's move on to the real stuff.
Yeah. So meet your host, Jan. Go. Floor is yours, Jan.
Hi, everybody here knows me, so welcome and thank you. We're going to have a really good discussion. Tuhin is developing an amazing tool for content creators. It's more than just asking ChatGPT to come up with something that you can post. It's a lot more than that, and it's deeper. And he's improving it with every time we have a conversation. I'm using it for my LinkedIn, and he'll get into what it does and why it's different. But this is not a sales meeting, so don't think about it. It's a way of asking how content can be relevant, what it takes to be relevant, and what the consequences are going to be going forward if it's not relevant.
All right. My turn. Hi, everyone. I'm Casey, and I'm a real person. I'm actually Jan's executive assistant, and I work with him for almost a year and a half now. So yeah, I'm also the general manager here in ContentKitchen. So yeah, that's
us.
Now meet our special guest, Tuhin Patra. Tuhin, the floor is yours.
Hey guys, I'm Tuhin. I'm from Mumbai. So I was working in a regular tech till 3 years back. So it's almost been 3 years. I quit that job. Now, so I was trying to figure out what to do in life. I just had a daughter, and I got this strange idea that my daughter is still small. I can still try things out. Once she gets older and I have to send her to school and more responsibilities, I won't be able to do stuff. And then I was into AI, and so I started dabbling a bit. And then I found it. I started writing about it, and people were really curious. I mean, a lot of people signed up to my newsletter, and I was not expecting that. Then I thought, okay, this might be something that people are interested in. And then I spoke to consultants, and I consulted consultants actually, and they were more interested in, I'd rather be consulting than grinding content. I mean, so as consultants, the marketing is basically content, and that is where I started to build a system for my own. And then I thought, okay, uh, what if we can build a whole ecosystem around it? So that's where I'm coming from. I founded Deep Writing 2 years back, and I started consulting under the name of Deep Writing. I built an app which is 6 months old at this point in time, constantly evolving. So yeah, I'm learning, experimenting, implementing, and seeing what works in AI. Yeah, so that's me.
All right. Thank you, Tuhin. So let's make this interactive right away.
Yep.
So here's the poll. The first question. What AI agent are you using? So drop it in the Zoom chat. You can see everyone's response.
You only put down one AI.
You can only put down one.
Perplexity.
I know people use more than one, so.
Perplexity 200 times a day. Nice. So I think it's ChatGPT, Claude,
ChatGPT,
Notebook LM,
Well,
Gemini.
did anybody answer besides me?
Gemini.
We're trying to see if Lovable works as an interactive platform. So you have to open the link in your own. You have to open the link in your own computer,
I did.
Is it working?
Yeah, you can answer through here.
I'm seeing the screen, but
Yes.
it
All right.
doesn't give me any
It's okay.
interactivity.
I mean, yeah. So the most used is, I guess, Claude,
Claude.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and
Well,
Mhm.
Gemini, and Perplexity. So yeah, a fair mix of all the four.
All right, so next question. Follow up. What are you using it for?
I think
For writing
we can
content,
yeah,
just
research.
we can skip these. Yeah.
speak up. Yeah.
We had more people,
Yes.
it'd be interesting, but not now.
Okay. So how fluent are you with using AI?
Nice.
I don't know if I
Nice.
would say
Power user.
Got curious
Strat
dabbler,
I'm a
strategic
power
power
agent. Yes.
user.
Strategic agent is good. Yeah. Power is
All right,
weekly.
we're getting
Nice.
closer to the major
Cool.
question.
Mhm. So here's another poll. Is LinkedIn your primary platform for outreach?
Obviously, we had planned on more people coming. Otherwise, we would just have been asking these questions. All right, Casey, you can go on.
Okay. So here's the big question. Dre, you want to take it
Yeah.
away?
So, is AI creating an existential crisis or forcing a rethink of what makes us valuable? So when I started out to ask this question, it really wasn't about what makes us valuable. It was about the AI divide that will eventually happen. The haves and have-nots, like everything else. I've been trying to understand where that divide happens, what will happen when that divide happens. How will rise to the people who can afford the more expensive and more knowledgeable and more powerful AI, and what happens to the rest? So,
Interesting.
thoughts?
On every blog I create, and I'm doing at least 5 a week now. On every blog I create around my square wheels images, my perplexity is asking me, do you want to produce a paragraph, or do you want to produce content for LinkedIn? Do you want to produce content for Medium? It's prompting me to generate its own writing about my writing. And more I'm saying, yeah, give it to me, and then just pasting it in with the reference to the links and stuff like that. And then I'm also using LinkedIn with the scheduling. So I'll take one post and then schedule it to come out 3 more times. So I'm using all that free leverage. I'm not getting a lot of comments, which I think I should be getting a lot more of. But then LinkedIn is also telling me how I should rewrite my content to get more comments. So, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
so that we'll go
perplexity.
into that, Scott. Because there's supposedly the algorithms changed in January.
I don't know. I did some research on algorithms too, and I don't. It's very confusing to me. So I have plenty of time. I'm retired. I'm 78. I fool around. I'm online all day long. I'm messing around writing. I'm doing images around my Square Wheels cartoons. Perplexity is generating really great stuff for me. I mean, I couldn't ask any more of one platform. But there are so many other business opportunities that we can do, as Jan and I have talked about. And, I'm mostly just muddling.
Okay, who else? Who else? Mark, how are you using it?
Oh, I'm building one.
You're building your own.
Um, I have my team together, my developer, my investor finance guy. I have my CEO and COO. Took me a while.
Well, Coach Scott.
Primary, I have a belief, given the work that I do, that you can develop an AI that will produce wisdom in the user, not information, not better writing, not more clear, something that will generate an interaction with an AI that will open up a self that where wisdom lives. And we're beginning the process. The first thing we had to do was make sure it wasn't a ChatGPT or a Claude because of hallucination and drift.
Right.
Because that's really the element. It becomes predictory, ChatGPT and Claude, but it isn't based on facts. It's based on their own prediction. So it keeps on drifting, and we have found a way to do that. So we think we have a very unique technology about to be produced.
So
I mean,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
No,
that's all right.
So you and I had talked about wisdom before. If you
Say
remember.
that again. I'm sorry.
You and I have talked about wisdom before.
Yeah, we have, but there's a manifestation of it in the way people are in the world. Everyone on this call, in fact, is pretty enlightened.
Because of the age, because of our ages, or
we're the developer. I wanted to do it just for 65 and older because that's my shtick. But he thinks it can go all the way down to age 15. That there's a meta thinking that occurs that opens up self-awareness if the right questions are designed and it interacts in a particular way. So we're in design now, and we'll have our demo hopefully in 120 to 160 days. And I may be full of shit. I mean, this might be another one of my Don Quixote, here's the windmill things. But I have some sense that it's really here. I've done it academically, and I've done it in webinars, and I've done it individually in coaching. So I have a pretty good idea of the kind of inquiry an AI can generate that would allow self-revelation. So we're going.
Wow, that would be impressive if you could create something like that.
Yes, I think so. Well, I'm just turned 81. I don't have much, and Ted Turner died yesterday at 87.
You don't have to tell me
so,
about it.
my they're not laying any more asphalt on my runway.
I was more, in New York. John Sterling passed away at 87 also. He was the voice of the Yankees for 40 years on radio. So that was a blow to me. I've been listening to him forever.
Yeah.
So, and so it does create a feeling that there's not, time is limited for everybody. And the world is speeding up, actually.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah.
I'm not sure where it's speeding to, but it's speeding up. And I think, personally, and I'll bring in something that's totally off the wall, because I just read it, that supposedly, and I don't know how true this is, that there was a meeting with Christian leaders and the intelligence community of the United States, preparing them for the release of proof that aliens exist. And how are they going to react when their flock either leaves Christianity because it was a lie and we weren't created in God's image, or runs to the church because they're scared and they don't believe it? Now, I don't know how true this is, but if you think about AI and disruption, think about adding a whole world full of people not knowing what's true and what's not true anymore in the thing that they believe in most.
Right.
And so I've always thought of the question of prove aliens don't exist.
You're right. You're probably right.
If you look at all the possibilities in the universe, how can it be true that there are no aliens? It just makes no sense.
It absolutely can't be, because that would be a proof of God.
Yeah.
That would be the proof.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just threw that in because if you think AI is disruptive, wait. All right. So
Yeah.
my question still goes to what happens with this divide? What do you see? I mean, you people are educated, you're experienced. What do you see?
Well, there's a significant divide between people who have now moved to applying the latest versions of AI to getting real work done, and people who are either saying, I don't want to learn, or they're in a very early stage. And that gap has widened significantly just since the first of the year. And so, I was in a conference last week, and AI came up, and the woman next to me was shaking her head left and right. I didn't say anything to her, but my thought was, shake your head all you want, but and look both ways, because if you don't, AI is going to run over you. And so if we are ignoring it, then there are serious consequences, not to ourselves, but to the people and societies around us.
So it's interesting. People in my world, in the publishing world, say it's going to stifle creativity.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen one of my clients is a genius author who has written 5 fantasy novels, poetry, and history about World War II, and in particular Adolf Eichmann and his plan for the final solution. And he has created the most amazing document I have ever seen on creativity using AI and Midjourney. 200 incredible images explaining how creativity will be enhanced with AI. And we're doing a book and a course on this, how to be creative with AI and how it can spur your creativity.
Yeah, and so you can, if you think about ideas that pop into our heads, I can take any one of those ideas and in 10 or 15 minutes have a whole research paper on that idea. And from that spins off articles and videos and a variety of things. One of the things I've been fascinated by in my career in corporate world and after is how people with huge capabilities and intelligence have trouble in organizations. So I took that idea and then said, wait a minute, with augmented AI, everybody in a group, in a team, has incredible abilities. What happens to the managers? Are they ready for this? And the answer is statistically, no, they aren't. Gallup just published a report finding that AI-enabled people working for an AI-aware manager are 9 times more productive than working for a manager without being engaged in it.
So, Greg, let me push back for a second, okay? And this is just being devil's advocate. As Mark said, if hallucinations and manifestations are common in AI, right? And I am sure that all of that information was gathered, a lot of data using AI to do it.
Well, one solution to that I've found is that you notice in my answer, I gave 4 applications. If I do a research paper in Gemini, I put it in one of the others and say, check this out. And so run a critical analysis in 1 or 2 of the other apps to verify the information. And so that has given me a lot more confidence in what I'm able to produce.
So when I use Tuhin's things, the resources are evident. So I know that it's true. So that's why I'm at a point now where I'm not sure what I believe anymore. I can't listen to the news because I don't know where they got it from. And every time I look at the news article, this was written with the help of blah, blah, blah AI.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've got so our critical thinking skills are pushed to the limit in today's world.
Right.
Wow, that's my next series on Medium. I just finished the Shmoo Diaries, and the next one is right into critical thinking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, but they don't teach critical thinking. The last thing they taught on critical thinking was a 9-dot experiment, and that is so old that it becomes a joke. Because when I was asked to do it, I Googled the answer.
Yeah,
because it's easier.
Well, we have just defined the critical skill for people in the world of AI.
So what's scary is critical thinking has to be in the people who do the coding, but now people are not even coding anymore. So where is the unconscious bias on this? Where is all of the things that humans have? Are they inside the code as well?
No, they are inside the people choosing what code to write. And so in any day that I start, I've got all these AI tools, but it's me that says, we need to research this today, or we need to take a critical analysis of this today. And so that wisdom to be able to choose and connect among all the elements of what we do and the world around us is the critical skill and intuition.
And
Absolutely.
wisdom, as Mark would say.
Yeah, right.
And taste, yes.
All right. So go ahead, Tuhin. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. No, Jan, go ahead.
No, I hadn't had anything. I was going to introduce you to show you how you're creating what content Grant and Scott and Mark would look for and how it's done. So the inside workings are what very few people understand. We see the outside, and and this group in particular probably has more knowledge than a lot. Even though we're older, you can't count us out.
Yeah, that's what I gathered. I mean, so the depth with which Grant spoke about, like that's what I'm getting to see. I'm experiencing every day. So I have been a coder for 12, 13 years, and coding was one of the most fun things that I got to do because it's immediate feedback, right? You do something, you see the output, good, bad, iterate, right? Now that coding has been, in a way, you don't write code from zero anymore. You don't write code from like line zero anymore. But that forces you to unlock another critical skill of yours. How do you organize all the information, all the ideas that you have in your head and put them together? Now, the way organizations, the software organizations used to work before was there was a manager who was managing, let's say, a team of 10 people, and the 10 people were creating code, were writing the code. Now, the task of those 10 people has been delegated to AI. I have been elevated to the role of the manager. Now I have to think more critically. I have 10 ideas to choose from. Which one do I execute? What's the depth should I to which I should take this, right? So other aspects of your critical thinking start to come to fruition, because the things that we are able to do today would have taken us, like for me, it would have taken at least 2 years to build what I did in 4 months. And I'm not talking about, creating something very, what do you say, shallow. I'm saying about providing real value. You can actually provide real value using AI today. And for me, if I were to execute on an idea previously, I would not have been, because I would not have been able to, accumulate all of these resources and get something to work, right? So that's where I think there are two ways to seeing where, like, whether it's an existential crisis or how will this pan out. Now everyone has to elevate their thinking to the level of where you don't think as the executor. You're no longer the executor. The execution happens with AI. You are the thinker. You give it the direction, right? You hold it back where you want to, and you give it the leash where you feel, and that is, believe me, that's much more difficult to do. And I believe all of you have also experienced that. Given a task, if I'm given a task, to execute that task takes much less mental bandwidth than to come up with the framework in which the task has to be executed, right? So, and that is where I think people who you got to be in the trenches, and you have to keep working with it. Like I meet a lot of people who say AI can't do XYZ or AI can't do ABC. That's right, and that's today. Who knows what you'll be able to do the next month?
Yeah.
You probably would have to elevate yourself one level above, because there'll always be a baseline. Once a technology is available, there's always a baseline, right? So everyone had cameras, everyone has Photoshop. So these things are given. But then having Photoshop does not mean that everyone has become a pro level creator with Photoshop, right? There is a basic, so everyone has elevated themselves. So that's what I feel. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity that we all have, and I'm not sure how the direction it's going. I'm not sure good or bad, but yeah, it's incredible that what we are able to do today.
We've just developed a AI augmented strategic planning process, and we're able to cut strategic planning length of time to develop one to about 1/4 of what it used to be. So an interesting question. We just as a comment, we develop a digital model of a company when we do that, and from that you can ask questions, develop strategies, whatever. So the critical questions: what's a human role in that? So what's my role as the consultant that's helping them? What's their role in terms of ideas and whatever? And so it puts a different element to how do you interact with the people? And I could do a strategic plan and just hand it to them.
Right.
and it but we set up a whole review process, a whole discussion process, and in the organization we trained everybody in AI so they could take a critical look that way.
So can I ask a question on this? So that's today. I open up my AI every day, and 3 out of 4 days the interface looks different already.
Yeah.
They've added something that I didn't know, or I get a notification from, I use Manus a lot. That's an agentic. I use it, I've been using it forever. That's the one Meta bought, and the Chinese are trying not to let them buy it. But that does a lot of work for me. But every time I open it up, there's something new. It now creates images. It now does this. It now does that. I try, and it seems that everything, I get 15 or 18 emails a day with newsletters from AI. What's new in AI? And I got to the point where I started looking at every new one that came out. And when I started trying them, half of them didn't work at all. And then I kept finding new ones, like I found DeepWriting, or I found Alice 2.0, which is out of California also. Not far from you, Mark, actually. Stephen Klein. You know Stephen Klein? You know of him?
Yeah.
So, I was an early adapter to that one as well.
I have to let my cat out. Sorry. Come on.
So I don't know how you stay one step ahead.
Come on. You can go.
Because it keeps moving, and people have lives to live and jobs to take care of. And it overwhelmed me at some point last month, and I just had to step back from it.
I came across a video from Liam Otley. He's a famous influencer in this space. So what he said was, the closer you are to AI, the more stressed you are, because the pace at which it is going. Someone who is sitting on the outside, they just know that there is ChatGPT. You give something in, it gives something out. That's all they know, and they are not stressed at all. I mean, ignorance is a bliss in that case. But once you get close to it, you know that the models are evolving every day, and and you have to keep going with it is what I believe. So the the framework that I use here is, I do not try and force fit an AI into my workflow. I have a workflow. I want to do ABC. I see what's the best tool out there for this part of the work. Because once you start exploring tools, you start inventing work, is what I have felt, right? So you see that this tool, like shiny object syndrome, right? You see this tool, oh, it's able to do this. I should probably do this as well. And then what happens is you are shallow on all of them. But each
That's
tool,
me. That's me.
yeah, I mean, so that's probably all of us. I mean, each tool has so many functions. I use Claude for around 12 hours a day, and I have been using it for 6 months, and I have not used, probably I have only used 2 or 3 functionalities of it, because that's where my real value comes from, right? So that's what I believe. I mean, that's the mental framework I go ahead with. You pick what's applicable to you. You put blinders on everything else because it'll just distract.
That's a good piece of advice. Not easy for me to do that. I'd have to block out everything. Everybody I talk to or things that I do on my team, I confuse the hell out of everybody because I keep sending things to them before it's complete. And then I refine it, and then they have 4 versions of the same thing, and they don't know which one to use.
Right.
That's me, though, and I have to get more disciplined in general about this because I've been doing things like Scott's doing nothing else but creating content right now. Right? That's what I do. But that's not work. That's fun. I need to work.
Well, it depends on your relationship and what you want to do. My work style has been for years is I don't write 10 things I need to get done. I do write 3. Here's the goals for today. But with AI, I can say, here's what I need to do today. Lay out my schedule and tell me how to proceed. And it can work while I'm doing something else. And the other thing that's interesting is the relationship to data. And AI has been fabulous with problem solving and data. And so in the past, you say, well, I've got enough data to do it. But the time factor in collecting data, you say, okay, I can wait until the deadline and then analyze it and have much better data. And so the work process and running a project is quite different with AI enabled. The first time, 3 years ago, we tried it, a project we'd laid out for 3 months with 5 people. We finished after 2 months and said, what happened? And what happened was AI cut a whole month off our process. That was with early ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So speaking of data, I was able to take my email list, have the AI go into the list, see who opened my newsletters in the last 4 months, how many they opened, and give me a list of those people I consider warm leads. Mm-hmm. And then it categorized the others who didn't open it. And then I asked it to go and pick out keywords, and it did all of that as well. So when you think about sorting 13,000 emails into categories, 4,000 did this, 2,000 did. How long even if I farmed it out to somebody, it would have taken weeks to do that. It took 30 minutes, if it took that much, and cost $2, $2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So previously, I think there would have been agencies to do this, right? So there would have been entire agencies who did this stuff, analyzing who is opening, like giving warm leads to you. Now it's become like you wire up a pipeline and you get the data. So
show us how deep writing works. So it may just change how people think about how they create content. And give us a demo.
Yeah.
And this is not a sales demo; it's a demo on content. Because I made it sure we understood that there's no sales here. He's not opening the door for anybody yet. It's still in development for most part.
Yeah, I'm still developing it. So yeah. So you want me to open up a screen, share my screen,
Yeah,
and
open up a space. All right, I can open up
Yeah.
a space to show them what mine looks like.
Go
yeah,
ahead,
that'll
Tuhin.
be good.
That's
Yeah.
a better way, I think. Let me share my screen. Let me get to what deep writing looks like. Updates. Let me go to the beginning of it.
Yeah, Scott, privacy is a myth.
Where the hell did it go?
There's one for you, Tuhin, in the comments.
All right, I'm going to share my screen.
Uh,
Then you can explain it while I share my screen.
Just look.
Okay, here we go.
Is there a question for me on in the chat? Because I
Yes, it is.
There
So
you
here's
go.
my screen.
Casey,
There's
do you see the
my-
question? Because
So let's start with this is the dashboard. Here is my content strategy that after having a number of questions coming to me, it came up with this. This is my last campaign. It was updated April 24th.
so I'll give a bit of background here.
Okay.
Now, initially, like when we think of creating content, uh, the leaders, the people who do this really well, I found that they have an underlying strategy. I mean, nothing that they post is random. So everything is designed to, deliver on something. So if maybe developing a connection or getting more inbounds, something. But when I was creating content, it was more like I have to publish a newsletter on, let's say, Monday and Thursday. And on Monday, on maybe on a Sunday night, I'll sit and I'll hunt for ideas. But then that approach did not lead to, tangible results. I mean, I was always anxious. I was always stressed that I have to produce something and I don't have an idea. And that's when I thought that there should be an underlying content strategy to everything we do, right? So we, as business people, we have certain goals for our businesses. Let's start from there. Let's say I have a tool. Let's say like Mark is developing a tool and he wants people to come to that tool. Now, how do I do that? My marketing channel is my content. So the content, every piece of content should either like get more people familiar with what I'm doing, one, and two, get people to click on my website and, sign up for the software or whatever. So what I have tried to do here is there is a content strategy chat, as it will ask you what's your business goals for the next 90 days, 180 days. You give it your goals, you give it your audience niche and the audience that you're working with, and it'll form a strategy for you. So this is Jan's strategy where he's saying that
For this campaign that I'm doing now, speakers, I did one for coaches before. So this is individualized.
Yeah. So this is a strategy that he's working with right now. So every piece of content idea that deep writing will generate from here on will consider this as the baseline. So everything will be tailored to this. Every piece of content I create serves this mission. So what's the mission? Actionable insights, real world examples, and strategic frameworks to individual speakers to help them turn their expertise into published authority. So this is his goal that he wants to achieve through this piece of content. So every piece of content should uh, tie back to this. Now, once you have the strategy, let's say the model that I follow is a doctor-patient model. That's what I call it. That you go to the doctor, you say that I have this symptoms, and they give you the medicine. So the content strategy works kind of that way. You go and you say that I have these business goals for me. How do I do that? It gives you a strategy. You say that, okay, the strategy looks good. Then it gives you a posting schedule, like a doctor gives you the times when you have to have the medicine. So it says, let's say for your goal, you need to post 2 long form posts every week and short form posts the other days, right? And one of those days we will repurpose an old post, kind of like that. So it'll create a posting schedule. So it'll lay out a whole calendar in front of you,
That's
right?
over here on the right side.
Yeah. So this is Jan's posting schedule on Monday morning. So for his strategy, it has also divided each day into 2 slots, morning and evening. So it's saying morning, you post a short form content. That's short form in a sense, a LinkedIn post, a tweet, or a Substack note, kind of like that.
And I'll show you how
And
that works in a minute after this.
yeah, so it creates a strategy for you. So this is the doctor and patient model where the doctor is giving you that this is the strategy I suggest you follow. You agree and you activate that strategy. If you don't, you chat back and then till you finalize it,
Yeah, you can update the strategy over here.
right?
I mean, I found this really interesting. So you know, and it's still new to me as well. So go
Yeah.
ahead.
So once this strategy is active, I'm trying to solve the next part of the problem, that is coming up with content ideas. It has been such a pain for me. Uh, as I said, I was really deep into AI, but then there were so many things that I really didn't know what to talk about, right? So once the strategy is there, once the content calendar is there, then deep writing will go into your niche, find out what's working, what people are
And
talking about.
here's
So it'll
here's
go,
that part of it.
yeah. So it'll go to web articles. It'll research new research papers that have been published. It will go into new LinkedIn posts which have done good engagement, has been published, and it will create content ideas. So these what you're seeing in front of you are content ideas tailored to Jan, right?
So let's take one of them. The speaker without a book. Your client just did chat to be for a speaker you weren't mentioned. Hook.
So the speaker without a book is the broad topic that this topic is under. So it will create 4 or 5 broad topics that every piece of content will fall under. And this is LinkedIn is also favoring this kind of content right now, where your content should fall into broad 2, 3, or 4 categories. Yeah. So it will give you an idea where you go through the idea, the description, what it is about, right? And if you feel like this is something that you're interested in, you yeah, by the way, it will also give you where it was inspired by. So where did the content come from? So that you can see this and you understand where this idea is coming from, right?
So
So
then you hit boom, and you get these options.
right. So yeah, if you come down to let's pick anyone, because most of us are posting on LinkedIn. Let's pick LinkedIn, or a newsletter is also possible, but that takes a little longer.
It takes about a minute and 90 seconds to 2
Yeah.
minutes.
So what's happening right now is it's going through those sources, it's reading those sources, right? So how it's structurally different from ChatGPT is, in ChatGPT, if you give first of all, it does not give you timely content ideas, right? So if let's say something interesting has happened in your industry and you should be creating content around that, ChatGPT will not catch that most of the time, because its training date is like, its cutoff date is way back, let's say 1 year back. So this will go into articles, YouTube videos, and live sources. It'll go to live sources and pick them up. So right now it's reading those sources. It's understanding what Jan is trying to do with it, with his content strategy here, who is his audience, and based on that, it's trying to uh, generate the piece of content. So because it's doing so many things, it takes a
Here it
while.
is.
Yeah. So this is talking about your ideal client just asked ChatGPT for a speaker. You weren't mentioned. Here's what the AI returned. Okay. See, if you see, Big Speak's latest data shows 78% of their clients rebooked the same speaker last year. So once you write numbers, specific numbers like these into your content, it immediately signals authority. And that is what I have, like my goal was, right? To write content the way, authorities or media houses or like well-researched pieces of content.
That's it.
Okay.
It's a good piece of work. It's a nice article.
Right. So once you find that this is okay, or if you want to edit, you click edit and you edit it. If you find
I
that it's
normally
okay,
edit the beginning or the end. I put my personal touch on it.
yeah, I'll also suggest that, because it's AI, so it will not get you 100% where you want to be. It will get you to 80% where you want to be.
But
Is what we should
there are no M
ideally.
dashes or anything like that, which is good. So the formatting looks better than some of the other ones, unless you tell it. So you can edit it here.
Yeah, you can discard changes. Yes.
Right, and then you can mark as ready.
So there are 3 states of, like, the idea was right now in draft. Once you mark it as ready, you get to know in your calendar. If you go to the dashboard, you will come to know that there is a content which is already marked as which is already ready to be posted, right? So I don't know which date this was scheduled on.
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyways, this is the dashboard. Now the dashboard will tell you what you need to do today. So if you see at the top left, it says pick an idea. No, in the
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah, pick an idea. So there are already ideas in your morning slot, right? The next thing is you need to pick one of these ideas, right?
And they
You
have
can
browse
pick,
more.
or you can browse more.
All right, so let's
So
pick this one.
I've made this way because once you get to the point where there are 200 ideas lying in your inbox, it will become very difficult to choose an idea. So I have made the AI, randomize in a way that you don't talk about the same things every day. You talk about ABC, 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 or BCA, kind of like that, so that there's a natural variation. And then you pick an idea you like, you turn into content, you post.
So here is the hook, and here is the description, and here's the
Yeah.
angle.
And
And here
always
are
check the sources, because
I mean, Media Bistro and executive speakers are reliable and credible places to get information from, and that's also important. Getting it from credible
reliable
sources.
source. Yes. So sometimes it can cite some sources which, let's say, which are not that authoritative, right? So that is why I suggest
So
always
you
check
can
the
look at it. You
sources.
can look at each one as well if you wanted to.
Benefit I experienced in working with book launchers.
So the goal here is the
sorry.
goal here was, when I was sitting down to write content, right? If you see the 3 sources here, one is from YouTube and 2 are from internet articles. It became very difficult for me to, synthesize 3 or 4 pieces of information and then come up with a content idea. Now, what I used to do was I watched the video on YouTube. I would get it transcribed, right? So there was a tool which converted video to audio, and then from audio to transcription, I would give that to, Claude or Chat GPT, come up with, like, understand what's going on, and then 2, 3 other sources, merge them. And how do I know which source is the best? So I have tried to, reduce all of that, going back and forth, so that you have something on your table. You choose. Now you apply your taste. So this is what is accumulated. Now you apply your taste and you pick what you want to work.
Can I choose one? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there are probably 4 ideas in your morning slot, so you can choose any one. And
all right.
pick.
Let's browse more and see what it looks like. There's 4, right?
Yeah, you can browse what
all right, let's try that one. Look.
So if you want to, you want to assign it to your morning slot, go to your right. It will be there in the morning slot somewhere. No, in the morning slot itself, it will be there.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning or at the end somewhere.
Right here?
No. in the horizontal scroll, you the scroll to the left.
Oh,
No, in the morning slot.
Oh,
If you
I got it.
scroll
I'm
to your left.
sorry.
Yeah. The first one, yes.
It's the first one.
Okay, so I need to make a note here that the UI needs to be improved somewhere. Like it needs to be more intuitive, is what it is. Yeah. So click on that, and you can turn it into content.
Let's do a single tweet.
Yeah.
So it's going. Is it going through all three resources or just one?
Yeah, all three.
And if I wanted to pick one, I couldn't. It automatically goes through all three.
Yeah, it automatically goes through all three. Right now, there is no option to pick and choose a source.
So for a single tweet, how does it know? It's getting a lot of information for a single tweet.
Yeah, so that I have to optimize. Right now, it goes through all the sources.
So I've been working through this with Tuhin, and this has been amazing education for me, as well as learning what I didn't know about AI. Let me move this because I hate looking at myself. So
this started as a side project. I mean, I wanted to make content creation easy for me. That is all I wanted to do. And
it
then
turned into a business.
One thing led to another, and then I thought, okay, let's start with a basic website, because creating one became so easy with Claude Code, right? And I thought I'll be done in a month tops, but then it took 4 months because again, the baseline is there'll be a lot of AI tools, right? The baseline is already will always be there. Now you want to create something that's truly valuable. It takes time.
There it is.
So yeah.
Now I'm not a big X person, so I don't know anything about this. That if it works or not. But so what?
It
Go ahead.
it's actually a bit difficult to put across an idea in a single tweet. So
Yeah, I would imagine.
What tends to work on X is motivational content, right? So you're not teaching frameworks. You're like mindset content in uh, unless you're writing threads. So if you're writing small tweets, you'll see that it's mostly mindset content. Don't do this, do that. But how do you do that is not a part of that. How do you do that is part of a longer piece or thread or something like that.
Let me stop sharing for a second. Most people now are also using images, video, or something visual. Right now, they're telling me, last year it was carousels on LinkedIn. That was the big thing for engagement. Yeah. Now it's it's long form and video for trust and credibility.
Yeah.
But no one knew that in January the algorithm changed. So all of the only people who know it are the people who are coming onto the feed with infographics. If you see an infographic in your feed, they know that the algorithm changed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If you see carousels, they haven't changed their outreach. And no one knows that until you read other people who know it.
So I came to know this when I was experimenting, and I was fine-tuning the idea generation, right? And one of the parts of idea generation is where it goes into the news that has happened in the last week or last 10 days. That's where it gave me an idea that the LinkedIn algorithm has changed, and this is how it's going to be. And there was an idea framed around it. And then I read through the sources, and then I figured out, okay, the LinkedIn resource, the LinkedIn algo has changed. And then I connected it back to what one of my friends was saying, where he was saying that he has been a regular on LinkedIn for for a long time now, 4 or 5 years. He's posting regularly, but then his reach suddenly dropped. So we were talking the other day because then I connected it back to that. Now nowadays, what's happening is, so previously LinkedIn awarded content which had a tendency to go viral. Viral in the sense it'll make some sensational claim, or and people would click like or share or something and comment a small comment or something. You know the ecosystem, right? There will be people who just post a small comment to get that person post into their comment so that their reach increases. Now there are also people who read through content, but they don't do any of that. They don't like it, they don't repost it, they don't do any of that, but then they read. So what LinkedIn has done is they have introduced uh I'm forgetting the name of that exact metric.
Yeah, it was Coffee House, the 1, 2, 3. It was a strange
Some,
name, but no one has really gotten
something.
it.
Yeah, so where it is also measuring the amount of time you're spending on a post, even though you're not interacting with it, right? And that is also a signal. So what LinkedIn is favoring right now is deeply authoritative pieces of content. So the shallow, like, mindset content where you're not teaching people anything is not getting promoted that much anymore. So you need to really make the reader read through your piece where they are staying at your in your article for at least 30 seconds. 30 seconds is the baseline that they are mentioning there. So if you are able to retain your reader for 30 seconds, then you'll get LinkedIn promotes your content. And the minute you publish your content, it goes to only 10 to 12% of your audience. It does not go to everyone who is logged in, right? It goes to only 10 to 12% of your network, and it judges the uh, response from there, and then it decides to whether to push it forward or not. So that's all the changes that they have done, and they don't make this explicit. This is buried deep under. Uh, there is a LinkedIn engineering page where it's very arcane. They mention the algorithms and they mention formulas and stuff, and there they have mentioned all of this. So that's where I came to know it.
Another thing I heard was that LinkedIn now looks at your profile to make sure that the content you're sending out there matches what your profile says you are. So, for instance, if I'm sending out speaker information, I better have speaker resources in my profile.
Right. Again, tying back to the authority post that I said, right? So LinkedIn is favoring people who are authorities in their space. As simple as that. Now, what it is doing is it's pattern matching, like semantic matching. So there is a concept of embeddings, vector embeddings, and semantic matching. So what it will do is it will match whether your profile matches with the piece of content that you're creating, right? If it does, good. That's a positive signal. Now what it will do is, so the algorithm change is good and bad in a way. I'll tell you the good and the bad both.
So this, by the way, this is not only for LinkedIn, but I mean, this may be just LinkedIn, but all social media platforms have some kind of way of doing this.
Yes, and the reason they did is mostly AI. So what started to happen was, if people were going to ChatGPT and they were saying, give me 10 article ideas on leadership, right? And it will give you 10 ideas on leadership. It will sound very smart, but then it will be all fluff. It will not have the material inside. It will not, how do I tell you? I mean, the AI is trained on the general part of the internet, right? So it's generic stuff. I mean, stuff that everyone knows. Now, if you want to get into specific percentages, specific news, specific nuances, it will not be able to get into that unless you are doing a deep research into a topic. So what people were doing is they were picking that up and they were posting it on LinkedIn. And that's where the baseline got set, that this will not work anymore, right? So what works now is deeper content. You have to have some material. You have to make the person's 90 seconds or 1 minute worth is where it's going. So yeah, I mean, deep pieces, authoritative pieces with images because there is only so much real estate it can show in your feed without you expanding it. So if you see a LinkedIn post, it will be one line and see more. And then if there is an image, it will show the image. Showing the image is helpful for LinkedIn because it signals the reader immediately what this is about if you have mentioned specific, like enough stuff in the image. And it also signals to the reader that this is a deeper post than a shallow like mindset stuff that you don't do this anymore, you do this like that. So and so the good part of this algorithm change is, the bad part is that the that basic stuff does not work anymore. The good stuff is that you are not limited by your network anymore. You previously also your content would go out to your network, but the way it went was it went through the connections of your connections. Right now it also does a semantic matching between your content and the content people are interested in. So even if you have 100 followers, your content can be shown to 10,000 people, because if it has material and if it has enough depth to it. So that's the way things are right now, with LinkedIn at least.
Personally, I have a lot of people that follow me on LinkedIn, and I get zero reactions or very little, and I can't. It drives me crazy. When I post a good piece of content, and I have 17,000 connections and 2,500 email subscribers on LinkedIn, and I get 20 people who look at it. How could that be? I mean, just think about, how could that possibly be that only 20 people see it?
Also, maybe because people are, like my experience is when I am scrolling through LinkedIn, because I have seen so much of AI content for the past 1.5 years, I tend to think everything is AI. And it does not matter whether something is created by AI or not. What matters is whether whether I should click on the see more button and put that extra effort into reading it to see whether it makes sense for me. Even that has become a challenge, right? So if you see something like very generic, people don't click at all, and they just scroll. Like, so that's the baseline that has been set, and maybe people are maybe judging far too harsh on a few pieces of content. So that is why, uh, see, everyone is using AI. That's for sure. No one is writing pieces from zero. So how are like people like Justin Welsh and like other big creators, how are they able to do it? I was dissecting, and the way they are doing it is they're not being polished. They're like uh, in a way they are making their writing unpolished is what I'm getting a feeling. Like they're making it more raw. They're not keeping it polished. So they write as if they speak. Right, there was a trend where we used to uh, favor polished posts, but that's out of trend. Going out of trend is what I'm seeing. You need to create, even if your formatting is a bit out of place, but what you write has depth. I think it will reach
So here's an interesting situation. As a businessman, I don't want to have to think about what LinkedIn does. I really don't.
Right.
I don't want to think about when they change their algorithm. I want something that knows that already and works for me.
Right.
When they change it,
So
I want that tool, and hopefully, Tuhin will be able to do that, will work for me. So I don't have to worry about it. It will happen automatically. He will figure out that the algorithm changed, and I will be the beneficiary of it, because as I do my normal thing, it will create the new type of content. That's what I am looking for in a tool, to give me unique content in my voice and make it relevant. That's all I can do as far as trying to get new clients in or trying to get my message out. I don't know what else I can do personally.
Right. So the challenge earlier was that as a consultant, we also had to be writers, So I had to be good at copywriting to be able to get my message across. Now, because AI is doing that, so what we need to figure out, like what my goal with this tool is to get consultants consulting basically, right? So they should not be worrying about content anymore. I mean, consultants already, like coaches and consultants, they have already spoken to a ton of people. They know what they already have the expertise to say. But then having to worry about content is something that they should not have to do. And yeah, speaking about the algorithm changes and all those tweaks, yes, that's my part of the job, to take care of that, right? So you're part of the, like, the people who will be using it, their part of the job is to just go out and like consult and coach people. Yeah. So
just so before we end this, I want to, Scott, you posted something about links and all of that. So this is something that I saw yesterday or the day before. Hold on. Zoom. I gotta share my screen.
Stop sharing.
Share. Is not it. Hold on. Here. So this is Chris Donnelly. He has 1,300,000 followers on LinkedIn. So here is his insight from Q1 on 400,000 posts. All right. So hold on. Old LinkedIn,
yeah,
post broad content. New LinkedIn, share real interests. Post.
look,
I'm sorry,
scroll up. Yeah, look at this. A niche content goes viral.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what I was trying to convey, that niche content. If you come down, there is like in the green box below. Yeah, niche content goes viral. So this is what I also understood, that you can be really niche, and it'll still, by going viral, it means it'll still, yeah, reach the people you want it to reach, right? So that's what. Yeah.
All right. So the next one is posting more actually matters. The old LinkedIn, post 2 or 3 times a week. New LinkedIn, post as often as possible. I'll go through this quickly, unless you want to comment on any of it. So Claude lead. Last year it was GPT. This year it's Claude. So the old LinkedIn was carousels. The new LinkedIn is infographics. Return of real writing. Short, sharp AI slop. That's what I was writing. The new one is writing that sounds human.
Yeah, if you see the character counts, it's go up a bit. If you see the character counts, it says, yeah. So it's really the long form pieces of content, right? So
performs 228 times better. I don't know how they come up with those numbers. It just drives me nuts. More links. So here's the interesting one, right? You're saying no links kills reach. Now they're saying links win big.
But I read the opposite of this.
441% higher with links.
Explain.
They're now saying, for years the rule was simple: never put links in your post.
You mean external links?
External links. Now they're telling you they love it.
But
how could they love it? Get you off the platform.
Yeah, that's what I read the opposite of this.
Right. Let me just finish this.
I don't know.
Native videos gets its moment. Videos just for trust. Videos on the rise. But here, this guy got 1 million. I mean, this is no slouch. This guy, he knows what he's talking about. Has anybody ever heard of him before?
No.
So let me show you his LinkedIn profile. Maybe that'll help.
Can you share the link to the report?
Yes. I can I will send it to you. How's that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Wait a minute. Let me find LinkedIn.
Chris Donnelly.
Let me. No, I'm in the wrong place. Hold on.
It's in the background. Your browser is in the background.
No, I see it now. Chris. Here. $1,232,000 followers. You think he knows what he's talking about?
Maybe.
Here it is, right here.
I've been watching some stuff on YouTube about various challenges, and it's incredibly
He
amazing
got
how stupid people
394
are.
comments, 44 reposts.
Yeah, getting reposts would be a really valuable thing. I would think that would be the optimal.
Hag Pop Pomnosi, and I know him. So anyway, here he is. So that's what he put down. I'll stop sharing. So, you know, you can believe him or not, but that's what that's what it was. So we're about ready to wrap this up. Unless anybody has any other questions for Tuhin? Or
Tuhin, how well does your platform handle images? Because that's what I'm all about. I mean, every one of my posts has one of my square wheels images in it for some anchor point.
Right. So right now it does not have images, but that's the next in the pipeline. So I'm working on the images part. Yes. So it will be able to generate carousels and
Well, it doesn't need to
your
generate.
infographics.
Yeah, it doesn't need to generate that because there are so many other places to do that, but to be able to embed the image into the post.
So the way it works is you copy the post from the tool and you post it on your LinkedIn, right? So and after you post, you can always embed an image from another source if you have.
Okay, yeah.
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 So native generation within the app generation is currently not there, but that's in the pipeline.
What I'm doing these days is asking Perplexity what an image might look like to accomplish this visual purpose.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, I couldn't be anything but happy with Perplexity because it's just it's insane for what it does.
Yeah. It does a few things like 10x better than all the other tools. Like for instance, very specifically, if you want to research what your audience is facing, like what pain points and what topics you need to speak about, just go to Perplexity and say like score this Reddit thread and give me 10 top pain points. Now I guess maybe Reddit is blocking Perplexity, but then it still has a lot of data that the other platforms don't have. Like if you go to Claude and you ask, it will not be able to do that good a job with that
And what
Perplexity
I
does.
love most about it is it knows me. It
Yeah,
just
because you
knows
have
my style, it knows my stuff. You know, that aspect of it is, I am frustrated if I ask the question of it, go out, find my best blog on a subject. And normally it does it. Every once in a while it says, I don't have access to your blog. It's like, what? But
yeah.
you know, I need
back on it saying you have to have it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I ask it again, and it finally does it. But you know, those kinds of actual hallucinations. It has the ability, but it doesn't. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what happens is so there are certain guardrails placed in the AI, right? So
Sure.
so it says in the prompt, in the system prompt, it would have said that you don't do this, and maybe when you framed the question, it would have interpreted it like you are asking it to fetch an external data that it should not, and then it will say that no, I can't give you that information, and then
Yeah,
if you
one
push it
time,
further,
yeah,
and then it'll give you, yeah.
one time I wanted to create an image of a popular political figure in a negative context, and it would not do it. It, you know, that just clanged against its rules that
Yeah.
I can't make fun of people. You know, it's like, what?
Yeah.
You can do that on Grok though.
Yeah,
Grok,
right.
Grok has no limitations.
No limitations on Grok. You can do whatever you want on Grok.
Yeah.
Grok has no limitations.
I stay away from it. So, Larry, did you get anything out of this? You've been very quiet.
I've enjoyed it. I think for me, the whole idea of optimizing what I'm doing, I basically have a friend knows me very, very well, has 75 AI agents working in his company. So he actually set me up in Claude in a way that Claude knows me very well. He's created just one agent that works in a lot of areas as a strategic agent. And so I'm happy with the fact that she's tough on me and she challenges where I'm going. But I think for me at this point, how do I optimize what I'm doing is a big deal.
Yeah.
Grant,
So,
did you get a lot out of this?
Yeah, it's been very helpful. I enjoyed the conversation a lot. And so I was going to emphasize what I think Scott said earlier. Tuhin, I'm sorry.
yeah, Tuhin, yeah.
Look around, see what other people are doing, because I know of several other people who are hot on this topic, and so it'd be helpful to take a look. Yeah.
So, Twin came up with an idea when we were talking earlier about having a regular meeting like this on maybe every month, every 2 months, just to keep up to date on what's going on. Is that something that's interesting?
Yeah.
That'd be helpful. Yeah, I'd like that very much. Big thing for me is people coming from different viewpoints and different areas is big help, because sharing ideas is really top of my list.
So interesting enough, last year when we did these roundtables, we would get 30 people, 22 to 30 people. This time we got 6. And this was probably the most important roundtable with the most information available that we've had in a long time.
I didn't find it. Yeah, and I didn't find it. General manager, and then the link went into my spam folder. I had 3 or 4
And Larry got a
messages.
rejection on it.
Yeah, I actually got a message, which I copied back to you, that said that the event is canceled.
So something happened, and that could be the reason. I'm not quite sure. We'll research it though. But in a way, I was glad that it was small, because it's very hard to have a conversation this intimate with a large group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do you have our emails? I can't remember how I got contacted.
We must have your email. Was this your first time in a roundtable?
The first time, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Usually it's different than this. If you go back to look at it, the older ones, you'll see it's a whole different. It was moderated. There was, this was a whole different way of doing it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I like this way. Yeah. Open questions,
have
open
like
flow.
10
Yeah.
people, enough to have it, not too many, but enough to get different viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a number of these things where there's 5 to 10 people, and it's just perfect because there are conversations. We don't need breakout groups, but the content level is really high.
So if you could do me a favor and tell a couple of people that you think would be interested in this to contact me, I'll add them in, and we'll have a separate, other than our general roundtables, we'll have this type of roundtable, the intimate ones. Maybe every 6 weeks. We'll depend on that. We'll decide on that as a group on how often it is. I don't think we need 90 minutes. Probably 60 minutes is enough. Certainly not 30 though. 30 is just enough to say hello.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to hear more about what Tuhin's doing.
Reach out to him directly.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. We should be connected in LinkedIn and blah, blah.
I just sent you a request.
5 Tuhin Patras in LinkedIn, I think.
Tuhin is a really great guy, by the way. And
I just
sent
you a
money
request.
Right now. This is all about getting it right.
And it's Mumbai, I mean, geez.
Yeah.
So, as I said, if you can, just tell 1 or 2 people that you think would be a good addition to this group. It would help.
Yep.
Make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess
Cool.
thank you. Thank you for attending.
Thank you very much.
I
Yeah,
guess
Sandy,
that
let's-
wraps up our
let's-
conversation.
It was
Let's
really,
connect
it was an intelligent, thought-provoking conversation. I mean, there were lots of things going on in this world besides politics.
Right. Good.
And
And
although you wouldn't know it in the United States because that's all the news that is.
yeah. And please don't send me recordings from every note taker that signed up.
You'll only get one. You'll only get one from Casey that has this.
Yeah.
this
Okay.
meeting on it.
Casey, you do the official work here.
Yeah,
Casey does
I
the
got
whole
it.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I got it.
So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
The next
Thank you
time
so much,
Casey sends a message out, can you confirm that with me in chat or something?
Yeah, we will make sure.
Yeah, I will.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I go into my spam folder and I've got 200 or 300 messages in there.
You
Like,
don't want to have to deal with that's a big problem. Maybe
Yeah, so I just gotta
Yeah, I
scroll
actually
through and
tried
look.
it on my end also. It went to my spam folder.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the reason why we didn't have more people too, and we're going to have you back.
Could be.
When we
I
have
mean,
a
really,
better.
it's a real thing because the spam filters now trigger on 1 or 2 words.
I don't know how. You know what?
I think it's because
you know
of
how
the
many phone
link.
calls I get a day asking me if I want a loan. I must literally get 8 or 9 phone calls a day saying you're pre-approved for a loan.
So what I've done
I'm
is
always pre-approved.
I've collected a bunch of those and sent an answer back. Why don't you guys get together and give me a loan of $2 million?
Oh, you get them also, right?
Yeah, right.
It's unbelievable. $200 a month, you get a $65,000 loan.
Yeah, get serious here, right? Yeah.
All right. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll
All right.
talk.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.